Hello, everybody, and welcome back to reviewing every single WrestleMania main event in history. Today, we are on episode 15, where we will review WrestleMania 15, where we saw Stone Cold Steve Austin take on The Rock for the WWE Championship in a no disqualification match. This is not their only main event, and it's not their most famous main event, as they also main evented WrestleMania 17, better known as X7, a few years down the line. However, this match, as far as I'm aware, has been relatively supported and liked by most people who've seen it, so I expect it to appear on my current list. If you don't remember, my current list of the best 5 matches I've seen, in order, is 14, 6, 5, 12, and 4. There are a few matches that were just on the list, but if you want to see those, you're going to have to go back and watch some prior episodes of this series. I've never seen this match before, so I'll be reacting to it very raw, and I will get to you after I've seen the... Hey everybody, so I just got finished watching the match, and I will say this match, I think it's slightly below the previous year's match. However, it's still a classic and will be going on number 2 in my positioning. So there are a couple of preliminaries that we need to look at before the actual match began. So Mr. McMahon comes out as the special guest referee, and me without context was wondering, how would they allow that? But the details are explained in a moment. So Shawn Michaels, the commissioner at the moment, comes out like immediately after, and he wasn't supposed to be there. And I was like, what's Shawn doing here? And he gets a huge pop. So he gets on the mic and says that Vince has to read the rule book, and that only one man can appoint special guest referees at WrestleMania, and then it's Shawn Michaels. And HBK kicks Vince out, says, hey, you can't be here anymore. Get out, you're not the referee anymore. And he also says that the corporation, which is a big group that Vince is a part of, along with The Rock, Big Boss Man, and a few other assorted heels, is completely barred from ringside. They cannot appear. Except for Vince. He phrases it slightly weird. So he says, the whole corporation is going to be banned from ringside, except maybe you. So yeah, they can't come out. Why Vince specifically is allowed to be in the match, I don't know. But it does come into play a little bit later in the bout. So one of the strangest things I think I've ever heard Jim Ross say then comes out of his mouth, and he says, and I quote, Mankind earned the right to referee this matchup, but he's in the hospital thanks to the Big Show, who's now in jail thanks to Hammer and Mr. McMahon earlier tonight, which is the strangest sentence I think I've ever heard. So there's like 8 facets that you have to look at. Okay, Mankind is supposed to be the referee. Oh, but he's in the hospital. Oh, what happened? Oh, the Big Show beat him up. Now the Big Show's in jail. Oh, what? Huh? Oh, he beat up Mr. He hammered him. What? And there's so many details that I'm not going to go back to look at and would just like to imagine the thought of in my own mind. So Shawn and Vince both leave, and The Rock makes his entrance. Nothing that notable. Stone Cold follows suit to a relatively big pop, and they begin to brawl. So they brawl over the arena. If this is the ring right here, they brawl over here, they brawl over there, they brawl back here, they brawl up the stage. Once they go all the way up to the stage, The Rock backdrops Stone Cold. So Stone Cold's got him in kind of a power bomb position, backdrops him, and his left knee, I believe, left knee lands on like a metal upright that's keeping up some like lights, and it really hurts his knee because he has a brace at the moment. So Rock works his knee for most of this match, and generally that's the only thing he targets when they're on the outside of the ring. So Stone Cold's really selling this. I don't know if it was intentional, but if it was, very good job landing in the right spot. And if it wasn't, great job adapting to what you were supposed to be doing in the moment. So Rock is able to fight him over to the other side of the WrestleMania, the entrance area, but Austin is able to counter and throw Rock into the WrestleMania sign, which is hanging down. It's a metal structure, like a metal. Imagine like you're building a crane, and that little metal thing that's the extending part of the crane. That is the background of it, and then the logo is on front of that, and that's all hanging up from like some wires at the top of the arena. So Rock is thrown into that, so it makes a very loud clang, and for a couple minutes after, you can see it like shaking in the background. But it doesn't become that notable in the match. They're both fighting back to the ring, but Austin cannot keep control as Rock delivers a suplex on the concrete floor. So The Rock gets a drink of water. They fight back to the announce tables. The Rock grabs some water from the announce table, opens the cap, takes a sip, and, generally at this point, you'd probably want to maybe, cover yourself with some, try and cool off, maybe get a drink if you're feeling parched, but he just spits it straight into Austin's face, which is, he sells like it's missed, kind of, for a first couple seconds, and then he sells it just like he got something in his face. Like if I'm Austin, I'm standing dazed. Oh man, and then he has to kind of do that for a moment. But Rock is able to take control. So Austin is able to retake control and get Rock onto the announce table. He gets up onto the barricade, which at this point is cushioned, stands up on it, elbow drop, drops it right on him, and the table completely Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, they just kind of slide awkwardly off the table. Like, Rock's down on the table like this. Austin, elbow drop. And they fall down onto the ground. Austin sets him back up on the table, elbow drop again, and this time it breaks. So they're able to do the spot correctly the second time around. And of course, it is on the Spanish announce table, which I need to be very specific with. Austin then proceeds to spit water in Rock's face, not once, but twice. I believe using the exact same water bottle as well. Ha 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 ha. Very, very funny. Austin throws Rock into the steel steps on the outside and continues his assault back in the ring. Out of absolute, Austin's beating Rock up. Bam, boom, bam. Rock's standing dazed in the ring. Austin goes for, I think, a clothesline, and Rock just pops up out of nowhere. He's like Randy Orton with this. Completely out of nowhere. Rock bottom straight to Austin in the middle of the ring, but he's not able to cover quick enough, so Austin kicks it too. Rock grabs a chair from the outside of the ring because he's like, I can't get the pin. Grabs a chair, brings it into the ring, swings at Austin. Austin takes the chair away, tries to swing at Rock, but the Rock pulls the ref in, and the ref takes a sick face bump. Like, this thing is brutal, man. It sucks. Like, generally when you take a chair shot to the head, at the very least you want it to be kind of like here, but I think this is Mike Chioda. He takes it all like right here, and he is out for the rest of this match. There are 4 refs in this match, by the way. They get beaten up during this encounter. So The Rock takes control, gets a bunch of chair shots off, mostly onto that knee, as I mentioned earlier, and another ref runs into the ring, and Rock goes for the cover after a headshot to Austin, but Austin kicks out. So Rock keeps attacking with the chair, doing a couple of cool moves, no finishers or anything, just a couple things, and Austin keeps kicking out. So The Rock gets angry at the referee and delivers a rock bottom to him. That's referee 2. So Austin stuns The Rock as The Rock's, he's pushing the referee out of the ring. Oh, you couldn't get me the win. You can't count to 3. Blah, blah, blah. Oh no, it's Austin. It's Austin. Stunner to The Rock. The Rock's done. And The Rock sells it as The Rock does. He takes the move, flips back, flips over a bazillion times, and lands on the mat. And now that the ref's gone, Austin goes for the cover. He has the match won, but the referee's injured. The ref can't help. Aw, shucks. So a third ref comes out. And at this point, they're all like basic referees, like Earl Hebner. And at this time, though, Rock's able to kick out because the ref does take a minute to get to the ring. So Mr. McMahon then walks out. Again, this is what I mentioned earlier about Shawn, for some reason, saying that Vince could come back out. And he enters the ring. He says, hey, I want to beat that guy up. So he absolutely wallops the referee in the face. That's 3 for 3 at this point, and helps Rock beat up Austin in the corner. Then there's no music that plays, but the crowd, you could see them all kind of like look towards the ramp, and you hear a whoa. But the commentary team don't say anything until the camera cuts to it, and we see Mankind walk out, even though he was supposedly in the hospital, and they reference that he probably just checked himself out so that he could escape. He comes out and throws Mr. McMahon outside of the ring, and the match resumes as it should. The Rock delivers a rock bottom again and follows it up with a people's elbow, but he doesn't connect with this one. Rock bottom, he's down, bum, 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 bounce, goes to the elbow, but Austin's able to move out of the way. The Rock lands pretty hard, so Austin stands up, and The Rock tries another rock bottom, but Austin's able to get out of it and counter with a stone cold stunner. This time, since the referee is there, Mankind, he is able to get the 3 count and win the WWE Championship. As we see Austin celebrating, holding the title up in the corner with some beer, Vince McMahon is distraught on the outside. Like, if I was in this situation, I might be going, oh, man, my guy lost. Shoot, man. But Vince is over here. No. Ow, no. Like, he is very sad and angry on the outside of this ring. So Austin cracks a beer with another referee who magically appeared, Earl Hebner, and Earl does one of the best bumps of this match. it's not really a bump, but the best move physically of this match, like Earl's got the beer in his hand, right? And Austin has just given, let's pretend Austin is Earl. So Austin's just given Earl the beer. Earl's been standing in this corner and he's, celebrating. He runs to this corner and bounds up to the second rope. Lands perfectly. He doesn't stumble on it or fumble anything. He just and keeps looking at the crowd. Boom, boom, boom. Austin doesn't stunner him. He does survive this night. But it's honestly very impressive. So good job to Earl. Vince says that the title is his. The title's mine, Austin. The title's mine. And argues with him outside the ring, but gets thrown in the ring and gets a stone cold stunner straight to the skull. That basically ends the segment, as then it cuts to the WrestleMania recap rewind. So, what do we think? Well, I think this match was, again, slightly below the WrestleMania 14 match. However, I do think it was a classic, and most of the Manias between now and Mania 21, can you do something for me, will probably pop up on the top 5 list as we get into them. Have you seen this match before? Do you agree with my opinion? Do you disagree? I think this match will get maybe an A-, I'll say. I think this match was really well booked and made. I do think there was a bit too much interference and ref bumpage. However, it was good enough for me. As I was saying, do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Well, leave your comments down below nonetheless. Have you seen the match before? If you haven't, I do recommend that you do, just for the historical sake of it and for the match quality itself. Make sure you have a good day, good evening, good night, good morning, good dawn, good dusk, good whatever. Drink a cold when you get home, if you can. Don't break the law now. Watch any former or future episodes of the series, and goodbye. One last note. So while I was editing this and I was cutting out, little blips and stuff and putting in little pieces, I was just messing around with Austin and Rock because I still had them at my desk. And I was working on the video and I just put Rock down on the table. I didn't really think about it. And I looked down at how he had landed, and he landed like this. I don't know how he did this. I'm telling you, I did not do this intentionally. He landed exactly like this. It was balancing. I don't know how. But nonetheless, get back to past me and what he was about to say. And goodbye.